Do you remember the first time you watched Jurassic World? Did you wonder how many dinosaurs or prehistoric reptiles were showcased in this park? This video will be the accumulation of several years of research. So, let's get straight into this. Isla Nublar. As of 2015, this is how it looked. The peak of Jurassic World. John Hammond's vision. Long gone are the years of jungle explorers and the jeeps of 1993. But now, those have been replaced by gyrospheres, monorails, and Mercedes galore. Originally, Hammond's vision was to have been rather simple. The park drive, with 7 major paddock areas, with dozens of smaller ones inside of it, all known as the park. But that's in the long past. If you would like that version of this video, just let me know. But this one is to focus on the 2015 version, Jurassic World. During the Jurassic World years of Isla Nublar, the island was divided up into 6 sectors. We are going to go sector by sector to show off the different species attractions showcased in each. Before we get too deep into this, know that we are going to be including some headcanon information in some places. In order to showcase this information as accurately as possible, we will include our logo down at the bottom right hand corner, like this, in order to indicate our own headcanon from true canon. This was only done to help fill in some unknown gaps based on canon information. Now that is out of the way, let's dive straight into this. Sector 1. Sector 1, the entrance to the park. The ferry landing dock is where your Jurassic adventure begins. Sector 1 is home to a number of attractions for you to enjoy as you embark on your journey throughout the park. The monorail will guide you to many of these attractions that we will discuss in today's adventure. The first major attraction on our list will be one that wouldn't have opened during the time of Jurassic World's release, as it would have opened the following year as a more kid-friendly attraction compared to the Indominus Rex paddock. We aren't 100% sure what it would have been called, as storyboards in Camp Cretaceous call it the Brachiosaur Treetop Gazers, and the Jurassic World exhibition calls it the Land of Giants. This is where the 2 brachiosaur species, Brachiosaurus altithorax and Giraffatitan bronchi, would have been relocated after the Brachiosaur Valley attraction up in Sector 4 closed a few years prior. This would have been a paddock much more suited to the sauropod species' needs, as well as showcase these giants in a dynamic way for park guests. The Land of Giants attraction would have either been the entire area, with treetop grazers having been just a small segment, or possibly a whole separate attraction. We are still unclear the intentions here. According to the exhibition, this would have showcased these species, all of which will be discussed in further details later on. Ankylosaurus, Gallimimus, Stegimoloch, Stegosaurus, and Triceratops. Only one species is seemingly a new one unique to this attraction, and that is Parasaurolophus crustaceus. I'm sorry, I'm going to be butchering all these names. A subspecies of the Parasaurolophus, this one had a much smaller and tighter curve to its horn. This only shows up during the exhibition, and is currently unknown if it is meant to be this species or Wakiri. It is worth mentioning, though, that Sector 1 is also home to 2 more attractions, some without dinosaurs. However, the golf course is home to 2 species, a special stegoskin grass, as well as something else that is currently unknown, flora or fauna. The Botanical Gardens is also home to over 2,000 kind of Jurassic flora, and the website makes mention to the Apatosaurus, so it could be here, but we personally don't believe it is, but it is worth mentioning. Sector 2. Sector 2 is more so a maintenance area of the park. However, that doesn't mean that it still isn't home to some attractions. We have two major attractions that are showcased in this sector, the bamboo forest as well as the gondola lift. According to the Jurassic World website, the bamboo forest is a sprawling 542-acre attraction and is said to have been home to 7 species. The only other pieces of information that is known currently is that it was an easy hike for families of all ages, as well as that there were Hammond Buddha statues dotted along the paths. That, I for one would just love to see one day in some sort of future installment in the Jurassic franchise. As for species, we can assume that there is some sort of resurrected bamboo species, so that leaves us to fill in the gaps to what the dinosaur species that would have been showcased here. So for fun, let's see what Asian species of dinosaurs could help match the bamboo vibes of this amazing attraction. Mamenchisaurus cynocenodorum, Microceratus gobiensis, Monolophosaurus jiangji, Sinoceratops sukigensis, Tarbosaurus batar, and, controversially, Velociraptor mongoliensis. The other attraction in this sector is the gondola lift attraction. This attraction would have taken you up to some of the highest reaches of Isla Nublar. It was said that on clear days, you would have been able to see the entire whole part of the southern half of the island. It is unknown what species this attraction would have showcased. However, from some early storyboards, 2 species are known, Edmontosaurus inectans and Parasaurolophus walkeri. Sector 3. If the park had a heart, this would be it. Sector 3 is home to the densest area of the entire park. This is where Main Street and all of its attractions and amenities are housed. Despite that being said, there were only 4 of those attractions showcasing resurrected species. To start off our showcase, let's take a look at the busiest. The Gentle Giant's Petting Zoo is large enough that you would think that it could be home to something the size of an elephant or larger. But nope, this is home to some of the youngest residents that call Isla Nublar home. This attraction was home to babies of 7 of the park's residents: Patasaurus excelsius, Gallimimus bellatus, Lesothosaurus diagnosticus, Microceratops gobiensis, Pachyrhinosaurus lacustii, Parasaurolophus walkeri, Stegosaurus stenops, ouch! Triceratops horridus. It is entirely possible that these species were constantly being swapped out and the roster changed over time, as certain animals aged out and which species were recently born in the Hammond Creation Lab not far away. If you want to see the adults of these species, they would be located on the other side of the mountains right behind the Innovation Center, being housed in another attraction that we will get to later. Next up is one attraction I really wish we would have gotten to see: the Pachy Arena. This open-air amphitheater had a special tent covering it to help protect you and this attraction's residents from the harsh midday sun. The only inhabitants that we can 100% confirm that were showcased here were the Pachycephalosaurus wyomingensis. However, with the inclusion of Stygimoloch spinifer in Fallen Kingdom, we are assuming that they would have shown up here, or were going to be a future addition to the arena. Located just south of the Pachy Arena is the massive lagoon, which is home to 3 attractions. There is the Underwater Observatory, which is the underwater exit from one of the other main attractions located in the lagoon. Here, you will be able to see the mosasaur swimming around the lagoon, as well as additional proto-aquatic oceanic creatures, as the brochure map states. It is also possible that both the Ichthyosaurus communis and Plesiosaurus shared the lagoon with the star attraction. The second attraction is the Jurassic Aquarium. This is another home to the proto-aquatic oceanic creatures as mentioned before. Not a whole lot is known about this attraction, other than that there were 3 feeding shows a day, 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4:30 p.m., and its hours were from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The last attraction located within the lagoon was the Mosasaur Feeding Show. This show would take place every 2 hours, starting at 8:30 a.m. and finishing at 4:30 p.m. The Mosasaur was definitely one well-fed reptile. This would be the best way to view the park's Mosasaurus maximus hoffmanni in action. To end off our journey around Sector 3, this takes us to the attraction showcasing the oldest living resident of the park. The Tyrannosaurus Kingdom holds the park's mascot, an icon of the entire franchise, the park's Tyrannosaurus Rex. She goes by many names: Roberta, Rexy, and even the Rex. Whatever you call her though, she deserves a lot of respect. Sector 6. Wait, what about 4 and 5? Well, 5 is the restricted zone, and no one really knows what happens up there. For all we know, Wu throws all his reject hybrids up there. As for Sector 4, I want to save the most packed sector for the end of the video. Sector 6 is home to the least changed section of the park, at least as of InGen retaking the island in 2002. This was the location of the original park that was under construction from 1988 through 1999, when everything was abruptly halted because of Nedry's sabotage. This region is home to 2 main attractions and 1 research location. The attractions found here are the Cretaceous Cruise and the River Adventure from Camp Cretaceous. The Cretaceous Cruise is the main attraction here. It takes a majority of the central portion of the sector. According to Jurassic World's website, this attraction houses over 100 species. It is currently unknown if that is meant to be 100% animals or if a percentage of this number includes plant life. So we're going to err that it does. What we do know, however, is that the cruise is broken up into smaller habitats, the main herbivore area, and the carnivore paddocks. From what we know, this is the list of the species we currently know that lived there. Apatosaurus excelsius, Microceratus golbiensis, Stegosaurus stenops. Yeah, that's right. Out of 100 species, we only can guarantee that there's 3. However, to help fill in that list, here's a list of the species that we can assume are here. However, this doesn't get anywhere close to that 100 species count. We will start with the carnivore paddocks. Baryonyx walkeri, Carnotaurus sestrii, Ceratosaurus nasocornis, Deinosuchus hatcheri, Metriacanthosaurus parkeri, Monolophosaurus giangi, Suchomimus tenerensis, Teratophonius currii. The rest of the residents could have been as follows: Diplodocus carnegie, Dreadnoughtus shrani, Maiasaura pebblesaurum, Ouranosaurus nigeriensis. As for the river adventure, this would have been a small portion of the Cretaceous cruise that would have ventured through the underwater cavern. The only species that we are aware of living in this attraction are the Parasaurolophus walkeri lux, as well as Stegosaurus stenops lux. The last portion of this sector is the Ebris raptor paddocks, holding 4 Velociraptor antirhopus, Blue, Charlie, Delta, and Echo, but this location is off limits to the guests of Jurassic World. Sector 4. Welcome to the packed house, everyone. This is going to be the main home to most of the dinosaurs of the park, at least the ones that we can confirm. This sector is home to 7 different large-scale attractions. Let's get the 2 smaller ones out of the way first. 2 of these species are showcased in paddocks solely dedicated to a single species. These 2 species are Ankylosaurus magnaventris, as well as the Dilophosaurus weatherilli. The old Brachiosaurus Valley attraction was once open here, but it was closed sometime before 2015 in order to move them to a much larger and better suited paddock in the south close to the Botanical Gardens, as I mentioned earlier. Both the Anky and the Dilo were removed from one of the next attractions because they were too aggressive with the ride vehicles, so they were given their own dedicated paddocks for guests to be able to view them. The next attraction is going to be the aviary. This is home to only 2 species, the Dimorphodon macronix, as well as the Pteranodon longiceps. This is located on the border of Sector 4 and 6. The name of the attraction inside the aviary was called the Pteranodon Terrace. Moving swiftly past the big attraction to the other attraction here, the Triceratops territory. This region of the park was home to the mighty Triceratops horridus. The description that it gives says that it shares this paddock with other ceratopsians. So we can assume that all of the other ceratopsians on the park's roster would be showcased here. You can follow our logic here, right? And for those of you that don't know, this would also include both Pachycephalosaurus wyomingensis and Stygimoloch spinifer, as they were closely related. The list of the other ceratopsians include Auroraceratops grugosus, Leptoceratops gracilis, Microceratus gobiensis, Nasutoceratops titutsi, Pachyrhinosaurus lacustii, Sinoceratops zuchingenesis, Syracosaurus albertensis, Yamaceratops dorngobiensis, Yinlong downsii, and Zuniceratops christophori. Now for the big ones, the Gallimimus Valley and the even more impressive Gyrosphere Valley. These are two central valleys in the central portion of the island. The smaller one is the Gallimimus Valley, aka Safari or Jungle Trek. This one attraction has the most names. This attraction allows you to ride in modified military-like vehicles as you race alongside the Gallimimus in a natural environment. The 4 species that are known to call the Gallimimus Valley home are Apatosaurus excelsius, Edmontosaurus annectens, Gallimimus ballatus, and Parasaurolophus walkeri. And we can assume that the Archaeanthromimus, Asiaticus, and Lesothosaurus diagnosticus are also located here. Let's end this video with the Gyrosphere Valley. The Gyrosphere Valley is a part of Isla Nublar's Central Valley area, located in Sector 4, adjacent to and overlapping with the Triceratops territory and the Gallimimus Valley. The valley was located just east of the island's western coastline, with a monorail station located east of the Gyrosphere landing station. The confirmed species showcased in the Gyrosphere Valley are Ankylosaurus magniventrus, Apatosaurus excelsius, Parasaurolophus walkeri, Sinoceratops zugiensis, Stegosaurus stenops, and Triceratops horridus. We are assuming that there were some more species also showcased in this attraction. The Dilophosaurus was originally meant to be included on the route, but were removed due to compatibility issues. So, we are assuming that there would have been smaller carnivores included as well, as we couldn't figure out a better placement for them. So, without further ado, here's the additional species that we would like to propose to be also home to the Gyrosphere Valley. Cerulosaurus fragilis, Compsognathus longipes, Corythosaurus casuaris, Edmontosaurus annectens, Euoplocephalus tutus, Hadrosaurus falkii, Herrerasaurus aesqualanensis, Lesothosaurus diagnosticus, Myosaur pebblesaurum, Metriacanthosaurus parkeri, Oranosaurus nigerensis, Parapolites cedramonteus. Those species may or may not have been included. However, we felt it was worth just putting the idea out there to get the conversation going. We hope that you all included this deep dive into the dinosaurs of Jurassic World. Both Bob and I had a lot of fun researching this one. Do you agree with our research? Did we miss anything? Did we include too many species? Let us know down below. I'll see you all next time down in the mine. Hey Ember Miners, thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to click the subscribe button on your way out and click the bell icon to be notified of our videos when we upload them.